And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Of course, it is a Monday. It's like the day that people don't want to go to work, but we have to. August 22nd, 2022. Glad to be back here on the show, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, MitchMacs.com, and Hank Jr. Productions. Of course, the timeline is counting down to high school football. Will be on the air this Friday at Vider. It'll be Silsby at Vider coming up. CajunCountryRadio.com. Yours truly, Robbie Lynn and Kevin Percato on the call. And, of course, a big show September the 3rd over at Pedrati's Ranch in San Antonio, Texas. The great Chris Cagle and Andy Griggs will be performing out there. You can find more information out there on all the social media we have. And hey, we're on Twitch TV now, twitch.tv/BackstagePassSG for sports guys. Make sure you go check us out on Twitch TV as we're live there now, live on the YouTube channel, and of course at the Sports Guys podcast.com. We do it all here on the show. And pleased to welcome in a lady I've got the utmost respect for. She's tremendous with vocals and everything she does out there. Nashville recording artist Harper Grae to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm so good. So good. Trying to stay cool in this heat.
Yeah, that's what I say too. It's definitely hot outside, and we had a lot of rain in Texas this weekend, so it kind of slowed some things down. Well, I tell you what, I love your music so much because it speaks from the heart, and it just shows what a great writer you are, and you have a great team behind you too with this great album out called Confessions of a Good Southern Lady. Let's tell people about your background here at the top for people that don't know you or just kind of tuning in for the first time. You've done a lot and overcome a lot so much in your life to get to this point now. Tell people a little bit about your backstory.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in a small town in Alabama called Reeltown, spelled like a fish and reel, and was raised by my grandparents. And my senior year of high school decided to go to Auburn University. Big Auburn sports girl over here, SEC all the way.
You've come to the right show.
Yes. So I went to Auburn, actually went to originally play softball, got 3 shoulder surgeries by the time I was 18, and my athletic career was cut. But it was all roads were always leading to music. In my senior year of college, I actually landed myself on a TV show called The Glee Project that took me out to LA, and I lived out there filming the show. When I was there, I realized it was such an incredible masterclass of what I really wanted to do, which at the time I was getting my master's, my BFA in musical theater. And I realized that I really wanted to do country music. That was what I grew up on. Old story songs that really made you just feel in your bones. That was the blessing of being raised by my grandparents, and decided to leave LA and hightail it to Nashville. I've just had my 10-year anniversary at the beginning of this month.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And so this is the longest I've ever been anywhere. And minus Reeltown, I guess. I guess I was there for 17 years. So I got a little bit to go. But came here and just really been working the old-fashioned way, honestly. Like go to writers' rounds all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That was the way that I got entrenched into the Nashville community, was going to listen to music and asking to be in co-writes when I would listen to a song that I loved. And I'm completely independent, which is normally like people are shocked when they hear that more times than not because of the stuff that I have been able to accomplish. And it's not by choice, just has been how my journey has been here. But I mean, you can get a lot accomplished by hustling hard and just showing up, not feeling like anyone owes you anything, because that's the hard work ethic instilled in me from Alabama was you got to work for it, you got to earn it, and you get knocked down 7 times, you stand up 8,
Mm-hmm. That's it. Show up to get paid. No doubt about it. Show up just to work hard. And like I said, let somebody notice you. And there you go. Like I said, let the work do the talking. I'm all about that phrase, no doubt. Hey, tell me a little about this. When you started putting out music back there a few years ago, when I started following you, Monster was a huge tune for you guys. Bloodline, Muddy Water. Kind of go through a little bit, a few of those songs, and tell me what was so great about those songs, because it really generated a lot of interest from country music fans and also fans of all genres of music.
Yeah. For me, growing up on the story song, the lyric song, I've always taken that approach as a songwriter. I write what I know more times than not. And especially during that time of my life, I wrote what was happening to me or what I had just recently experienced. And that was the understanding and processing through grieving the loss of my mom, who had recently passed, of just her battle with drugs and her battle with alcoholism. And that was why I was raised by my grandparents. And Monster was a song that honestly, like, I don't know that it was ever going to be released, but it was more of therapy when I wrote it. And then I just knew that it needed to be heard because so many people were talking about things that I was going through. So when we put that record out, it just landed with people because it was very honest and real. And it's a song that I perform still today. And my first fan art was that song that someone sent to me that I actually have in my songwriter's room. Just so many people can relate, unfortunately, to the struggles that happen with addiction, and especially people who are not even addicted themselves, the people that are left behind. And that's a lot of the undertones of my music are talking about darker themes, because that was my life.
I love that too at the same time. And I think a lot of it too is, and we talk to so many artists here on the program, not afraid to kind of share what you feel at the same time, be authentic, and know that fans are tuning in from all different digital platforms today. We mentioned Twitch or Spotify, SoundCloud, and all this, how much media has gotten. And when they listen to a song, they're going to feel something, happy or sad, right?
Right. 100%. And if anybody gets anything from my music, I want it to be authenticity. That's all.
Well, you've certainly done that and some with this album. Of course, it's out there. Confessions of a Good Southern Lady. And I say that, God rest her soul. My grandma was a great Southern lady too. So I wish she could hear this album right now. And I guess in spirit, she can, no doubt. But I tell you, it's a great, great album. Came out this May, and you guys have been riding that for Hot Streak. Well, I tell you, it's time to perform one here on the show. We're going to bring in Rand, correct? Your guitar player?
Bring in Rand.
Bring in Rand. Introduce him, and of course, bring him here to the backstage pass.
I don't know if you can see him yet, but he's here.
He's here.
Well,
it's all yours. What are we going to hear first?
You mentioned it. You hit the nail on the head. We're going to hear Bloodline.
Bloodline. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There's a photograph, only one I have of you. Wish that I knew who it was holding my hand. I would ask her, but I can't anymore. But even before she was gone, my thread I'm hanging on. How above I walk in the bloodline. Don't wanna fall. If I slip one time, that's me, because I'm dead folks and mama's with it. I find your business, the truth. Twist it till it fits you like a glue. Don't look down whatever you do. Walk in a bloodline. There's a house some people leave, and mama loved it more than me. And like a child, she cradled you out. I grew up in grandma's house, living with what we don't talk about. And now I'm grown, still don't know who I am, or where I'm going. How above I walk in the line. Don't wanna fall. And if I slip one time, that's it, because I'm dead ghost and mama's witness. Close your eyes, mind your business, the truth. Twist it till it fits you like a noose. Don't look down whatever you do. Walk in a good night. Up on the wild with a fire down below. Lay out the straight line, but tomorrow I don't know. How above I walk in a bloodline. Don't wanna fall. And if I slip one time, that's it, because I'm dead ghost. Mama's witness, close eyes, find your business, the truth. Twist it till it fits you like a noose. Don't let down whatever you do.
love that song. It's got that movie feel to it, too. You could be watching one of your favorite shows on television back here with Harper Grae on the Backstage Pass. Love that one. Of course, you guys need to go check it out if you haven't already. Great playing by Rand, too. Got to throw out compliments to him, too. Confessions of a Good Southern Lady, and that song is on there. And guys, I'm telling you right now, it's just like watching one of those good movies or something in the background. And I love that one. Tell us a little bit about how that one was born, because that is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was born. I wanted to answer the question, does the apple really fall far from the tree? Because my whole time growing up, everyone was like, oh my gosh, you remind me so much of your mom. Because being in a small town, everybody knew who my mom was. And I never knew what that meant, because I was like, oh, well, is that good? Or like, what does this mean? You know? And we just had a lot of similarities. She was born the day before I was born. We shared a birthday like right there. And I just always felt so close to her. So I just wanted to answer that question, and Bloodline really is left up for the listener to come up with the answer if the apple does fall far from the tree. Or if you really do have the opportunity to make shifts and changes while also having awareness of being just like your mom.
I love your music so much. I go back to 17 with some things that I'd saved on there. Very different songs. Break Your Crowns was the album referring to. And I love the fact you did Blame It On You, I believe was the title of the one there. And of course, then Thunder Rolls. We all love great country music there at the same time. Just tell, I guess vividly what you remember about that album. Still some special songs, and I'm sure a few of them worked their way into the live set today, right?
Well, the next one's from Confessions of a Good Southern Lady. So, so you'll hear one from that record, one of my favorites. But yeah, the Break Your Crowns, funny enough, is actually how I met Rand here back in like 2016, I think, a long time ago. But he wrote Break Your Crowns, and I heard that song and I was obsessed with it and reached out to him as a songwriter and was like, let's write. And we started writing, then we started working together. He is my band leader with all things that we do. And so that song was so special. That whole album, it's such a special time in my life of just it was my first time really being honest through music and not having any kind of boundaries around what I was doing,
Now, I read somewhere, and correct me if I'm wrong here, this is always one of the ones that get me in trouble, or it may not, because I like doing digging. We do our homework here on this show. High school, did you play the tuba or the trombone, or both?
Both. Started out on trombone, and then I did classical tuba the rest of the way. I love a bass line. Tuba is my heart. I'm still waiting for the moment in my stage show, like when I have an arena show, there will be a time where glitter is falling from the air and my tuba falls down. Start playing.
All right, so good homework there when I did that. No doubt about it.
Right.
Make sure that was good there too. Let's talk about that song that leads off the brand new record for Confessions of a Good Southern Lady, Devil Worship, and kind of the backstory of where that one came from.
Yeah, so I wrote that song with my sweet friend Brittany Spencer, and there was no one better to write that song with. It was literally ripped from my journal of when I was in college. I had this moment the first time that I had dated a girl, and the mom made this comment. We were on our way to church. Both of us were worship leaders, and her mom made the comment. She didn't know I was in the car, but said, "Do you know that the devil worship came from asking, like, do you know that congregation is worshiping with the devil?" And like saying that like it was me being the devil. And I was like, I'm so happy that I'm such a strong person in this moment, because not a lot of people at that time are. And I had done a lot of soul searching, a lot of research. Like at that point in my journey, I'd even learned a dead language to answer the question, can you be gay and Christian? And was minoring in religious studies, like just to honestly like figure out, like I was questioning it all and deconstructing it all. And that's what this song's about. It's an unpopular opinion that someone very much had of me. And I wanted to write it with Brittany, and she really understood that song didn't need much,
It's a beautiful song, and it spreads a number of different channels out there for what, again, the listener can take what they want to take from it, and the meaning that comes down from it too as well. More from Harper Grae. We got to take a quick time out here. Of course, we don't pay the bills. We don't get paid. That's the way it goes here. Bangtail Whiskey, our friends at MitchMacs.com and Hank Jr. Productions. More with the great Harper Grae here, and of course, you can give her a follow out there on all her socials, and of course at HarperGraeMusic.com. Quick time out here. Word from Bangtail. We're coming right back here. It is the Backstage Pass. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And, of course, the sports part's about to kick into high gear with high school football coming up here. CajunCountryRadio.com, one of our partners out there. The first game, Silsbee, is coming to play Vidor this week. The Vidor Pirates, your home for Pirate football. CajunCountryRadio.com. Yours truly on the call with Kevin Mercado and my good friend Robbie Lynn. Will be doing football, and I'll be doing 10 weeks straight of nothing but the NFL, college, and, of course, high school ranks, pregame, postgame show, halftime. We'll do it all, Harper. Back here with Harper Grae here on the Backstage Pass. So pleased to be talking about Confessions of a Good Southern Lady. I just love the title of that album. It's so really good. Hey, I wanted to ask you about this. Congratulations on motherhood, first of all, because I know last year I saw the People magazine photos. Beautiful, beautiful, breathtaking photos you put out there with wife Dawn. How's the baby? How's things going?
She's so good. It's great. I mean, I just can't say enough about being a mom. It's been an interesting journey because I think that there's a stigma in this industry of women having a family. And I'm here to rip that up because you can totally do it. You just have to be very organized and show up, I mean, Declan, she just had her first birthday party and it was themed after traveling because she's been to over like 20 cities in her first year, flown on like over 20 flights. Like she's along for the ride. But it's been great. She just started preschool, has gotten all the and stuff. So that's been, we're going through that. It's like, there was a meme that I just totally related to of, here's daycare, take all of my money. And then they only get to go there half the time because they're always sick. I was like, this is correct. She was there 3 days and got 4 infections.
Wow. That's, and you know, it's funny you mentioned that too. And I'm not going to knock any daycare out there and I'm not taking shots. So don't, when I say this, my newborn, and I'm just saying this, she'll be 2.5 in October. And the first 6 months of her little life, Harper, she never got sick. The minute I put her in that school, I'd miss work every other day. I know. One of us had to take off, and it's our only little girl. And it's like, well, and I know it's around other kids, and I get it, and they clean, and they do, blah, blah, blah. I'm not knocking any daycare, but it's weird how that happens. The first 6 months when you really expect problems to happen. And then, of course, just there's been a few, little hiccups now and then. But, she loves it there. She's making friends, developing social skills. There are a lot of good positives too with it too. So
yeah, 1,000. We are in the same boat. I completely agree. Declan was like never sick, and then she
the minute you
strep throat. She hasn't gotten that one yet, but I'm like, any day now.
Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations on a beautiful baby and of course a beautiful family, no doubt about it. I want to take one. We're going to go all the way to England now because one of my viewers watches from over there. David always asks great questions. Watching from Cumbria. Tell me, Harper, which artists have inspired your music, and are you not ruling out learning to play an instrument? Well, she did mention.
Yeah, I was going to say, I play a few instruments like trombone and tuba. It's just hard to sing and play that at the same time. If I can do that, man, I bet I would be on TV. Maybe I should focus on figuring that out. But artists that have really inspired me, I've mentioned a little bit about it, of anyone who really did story songs. So I grew up being the kindergartner singing Concrete Angel and Fancy and Independence Day and Thunder Rolls, like these story songs that I just love. And you can find a lot of that inspiration in my music. I love telling a story, and Confessions of a Good Southern Lady, each song lends itself to the next, where it is telling a story. So I'm heavily inspired by any artist that came before me that is a great storyteller.
I noticed too, you always love to give back, and I know I read somewhere where you were doing that, or still doing that, probably through the Look Up Foundation, giving back to those with some of the same different problems that they might face. Tell everybody about the nonprofit, and are you still doing that?
Yeah, so I founded a nonprofit in 2017. It was actually right before my mother passed, and it started out as wanting to raise awareness around children and adolescents who are navigating through grief, specifically grieving someone who hadn't died. And then when my mom passed, it did shift into a space of grieving someone who should have been in your life, wasn't, and then now has died. And so that was where it started. And when the pandemic happened, it was very difficult to get into psychiatric centers to be able to go and perform music. But Rand was actually with me every time we went. And it's difficult work, but it's also incredibly rewarding work to be able to perform. And now that a lot of the regulations are lifting in the hospitals, I think we're going to be able to get back in there. But that's what the work we were doing, was bringing music to psychiatric centers. We went into all units in a psych center, but sometimes it would just be focused on children and adolescents. But I think that a lot of people with mental health disorders, they get looked over more times than not. And those are my people. So I want to bring music to them as well.
Thank you for the work you do, and of course all the artists out there that give back to nonprofit organizations. So we certainly appreciate that, and love hearing about that kind of stuff here on the show, no doubt about it. Well, hey, I'm gonna turn it over to Rand again and yourself. Another beautiful song off Confessions of a Good Southern Lady, which is out there across all the digital platforms. Make sure you guys go check it out. Yeah, there's still a couple of songs. A couple of people are ask her about this. I'm going to ask her, just for people tuning in today. I've got my list here of questions to go through. So we're still going to ask you about a couple of favorite songs off of there. What's up next?
Yeah, well, we prepared two for you today. This will be the last one. It's Dead to Me, the last song on Confessions of a Good Southern Lady. It's one of my favorite songs. It's one that has really taken off on TikTok because I think just a lot of people can relate to the transparency. But I wrote this with Cam and Joy Williams, and a fun fact about this song, we actually wrote it a cappella because I wanted it to be heavy on percussion and heavy on really listening to the sarcasm of the lyric, which is on the record. It's definitely in that vein too. It's very stripped back. But yeah, this is Dead to Me, and it's a song that I wrote about anyone who honestly just didn't believe in me or thought that I couldn't do something or tried to dull my shine. We all have someone that has done that to us, and this song was haters. This song for them, it's just it's like a little bouquet of flowers for those people.
Yeah, it's a great song, and here it is. It's all yours.
Thank you. Go crawl across the desert on your hands and knees. Go tell me all the things you learned in therapy. Go on and bring me flowers, sweet apologies. Go on, keep on trying, but you're dead to me. If I told you once, I told you twice, but you crossed that line every time. It's crazy coming out your eyes, and I'm all alone inside my mind. You always got a new excuse. It's always me, never you. Go crawl across the desert on your hands and knees. Go tell me all keep on trying, but you're dead to me. Mama told me not to lie. Cross my heart and hope you die. Go crawl across the desert on your hands and go tell me all the things you learned in therapy. Go on and bring me flowers with apologies. Go on, keep on trying, but you're dead to me. I say, go on, keep on trying, but you're dead to
I want to just two-step now. I want to two-step all the way across that dance floor. Ray and Great playing, and of course Harper Grae back here on the Backstage Pass. Great music. Dead to Me on the album Confessions of a Good Southern Lady. Make sure you guys go check that out. All right, well, I tell you what I'm going to check out now. I love this. Rapid fire. You're such a sports fan, so I've got to lead off with this question because this is awesome. I know the Iron Bowl had to be big. Auburn, of course, Alabama, one of the biggest ones in college football. Tell me about the dream itself, then to get the call that Harper Grae's headlining this event to watch a tremendous college football game and put your music on display. It doesn't get any better than that, right?
And we won.
And they won, yes.
It didn't get any better. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're an SEC person, if you're an Auburn or an Alabama fan, you know Iron Bowl is our mecca. And I grew up, my grandparents actually worked at the athletic department. So when I say I bleed orange and blue, it was my dream as a little kid. Like, it didn't get any bigger than the Iron Bowl, you know? And so I started manifesting that when I was taking my teddy bears outside with my sticks as microphones, acting like I was performing at the Iron Bowl. So when I got the call to do it, I remember exactly where I was in a WeWork building downtown Nashville at a job that I was doing, one mini job that I was doing. And I was like, I honestly was like, okay, I got to start thinking of more dreams now because this has been my dream for forever. So when it happened, and I got to wear my granddad, who passed like right before the Iron Bowl, his watch on the field. And it was just a moment that I will never, ever forget. And then we won, which, like, I mean, honestly, was shocking at the time. And then we got to storm the field. And fun fact about it, too, it was my now wife's very first SEC football game ever was that game. And she got to be on the field. And I was like, it's not really like this.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations on that feat, because that's pretty cool. And anytime you go to SEC football, I'm always like, and I've been a football junkie for years and had sports shows and broadcast games and done a lot of things, but there's nothing like a SEC game. And of course, I know for my side, and it should be a good year for Auburn and of course the entire SEC. I'm an Aggie. I'm married an Aggie, so I can just say it happens that way. When you marry an Aggie, you kind of become an Aggie because it's just you're either an Aggie or a Longhorn down here in Texas. So I got to take the Texas A&M side too for you. All right, any other cool hobbies outside of music that Harper Grae is involved in?
I'm very type A. I'm kind of like the most predictable person you'll ever meet. I think that's, if I were to answer the question if the apple falls far from the tree, I probably am, because I have such a like addictive personality of doing things over and over. But I really enjoy yoga. I really enjoy just mindfulness and healthy living, which is, for me, it's just, it has become more of a hobby of just figuring out, like, not being so focused on being thin or being this, but really being just healthy has really turned into a hobby for me, and being just mindful of how I am as a human being, especially now that I have, a set of little eyes looking up to me.
That's true. And you're right. Everybody watch every little move. They just look up at you with a guilt of innocence. Like, I didn't do that. Yes, you did. You got to be careful what comes out of your mouth too. I'm learning that as a 2.5-year-old father for the first time too, for a beautiful little girl named Chloe. No doubt about it. All right, let's do this one. Favorite food for Harper Grae, or foods, plural, and then drinks. It could be alcoholic or non-alcoholic.
Oh, drink is right here. Can I show a brand or no?
You can show a brand.
Every time. Like,
that's one of my favorites too. Yes,
the best. Sprite is the mecca, and I'm one of those people that I don't have like a lengthy tech writer. Like, I'm like, as long as I have a Sprite, I am solid.
Good to go.
Ready to go. And with food, I'm really into funny story. I actually was hardcore vegan for a long time because I have a little like health issue that being vegan actually fixed it. And then I got pregnant and I craved fried chicken, very specific fried chicken from a gas station down the street.
Wow.
And I think that's my favorite food. And I'm not a vegan anymore.
Well,
I just I can't give up that chicken. It's too good.
well, sometimes those little hole in the wall places like gas station or whatever, they make some of the best food. They do.
It's so good. Like, I mean, that place has a lot, and I'm not even gonna tell you where it is because I don't need people to know.
You know,
I don't
just
need
keep it.
It's just
Keep it hidden, no doubt. All right, pizza fanatic? Are you pizza? I know for me, I am, but it's like the plain Jane cheese or pepperoni or whatever meat goes on it. I won't put a vegetable on my pizza. How do you like your toppings?
I love any kind of pizza as long as it doesn't have like anchovies and stuff. I can't get down with that. But I'll eat anything. Honestly, I'm from Alabama. Don't forget.
Don't forget.
I'll eat whatever. But anchovies, you lose me on that.
You lose me too. Like I said, it makes us 0 for 2 right there. It comes down to. I won't eat it with anchovies. I just tried a pineapple and ham on it, so it was the Hawaiian thing.
That's good. That's a good one.
It's pretty good. I was a little nervous at first, but a few weeks back, I was like, or wife got one, ordered one, whatever, and we just took a bite, and I was like, okay, this sweet sour taste was pretty good out there too. All right, we'll end with this one. Do you remember the title of the first song you ever wrote, or if you can't remember the title, what was the song about?
Oh, I remember. I was in kindergarten. And it's really lame, but it's one of those tunes that I just still remember. And I had the entire kindergarten class singing it going to lunch. It's called It's Gonna Snow. And it never did. But it went like this. The clouds are low, it means it's gonna snow. Hey, clouds are low, it means it's gonna snow.
Wow.
I don't know why that I wrote that song that day, and I don't even know if that's true. I'll have to fact check it if the clouds low means it's gonna snow, but that was my first song.
Well, I love the music so much. There's so many great songs on there. The Joker, Digging is some of my favorites. Dying on the Vine. Make sure you guys go check it out. Confessions of a Good Southern Lady. She's a great Southern lady and then some. She's done so much in her career. Congratulations on the birth of that baby, the 10-year anniversary. I look forward to catching up again. Hope you enjoyed this. The one, the only Harper Grae. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. And War Eagle.
Go War Eagle. I tell you what, right? We're gonna play each other this year. I believe it's
I know.
Auburn on the schedule.
I wasn't gonna call a light to it, but
well, I appreciate you being with us, Harper. Check her out, harpergraemusic.com, and of course, you guys go get Confessions of a Good Southern Lady across all the digital platforms. Tomorrow, we get a dynamic duo here on the show. Presley and Taylor get to drop by, and then of course, the legend Lacey J. Dalton here on the Backstage Pass on Thursday. Looking forward to more of that. Keep track of Harper out there on socials. Go give her a like on TikTok. I'm enjoying TikTok. I just subscribed last week, and it's crazy how good that thing is. Give us a follow, Backstage Pass 409 on Facebook, Twitch TV /Backstage Pass SG. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 o'clock here on the show. Until then, have a great night.